So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all feeling well. In today's interview, I've got the great pleasure and privilege to talk to Kevan Fox. I say a great privilege and a pleasure because I know how much time he spends on all his activities. But Kevan Fox here in Vancouver owns Vancouver websites, plus other areas, to be honest. His business is growing, but I'd rather Kevan told you a bit about himself. So over to you, Kevan. Tell me a
Thanks.
little bit about your business.
Thank you. So I've been doing web development for over 10 years now. It's the majority thing that I've done. I was running everything under Kevan Fox Media for the first half of the journey. And recently, a few years ago, I branded under Vancouver Websites. As you can see the logo in the background.
I have to
Uh,
say, that's an amazing domain. You're a lucky so-and-so to secure that.
I was. Having VancouverWebsites.ca blew my mind. And funny enough, it was all a rhythm. It was as if the universe opened up. It was I actually, funny enough, I went to another mastermind. This is years ago, and it was about branding and making something bigger than your personal identity. So that's when I went, okay, I got to go outside of just Kevan Fox Media or whatever it was that it was back then. And I went, okay, what do I tell my clients who don't know what it is that they want to make their name? I just put the main niche word and then I put Vancouver in front of it. So I went, okay, fine, Vancouver websites. And I looked online, I was like, oh, I'm never going to get the .com or the .ca. I was like, no way, but I thought I would check. And then in the domain world, there's something called pending deletion. So when someone forgets about a domain, and the .ca was pending deletion. And that day that I went, oh, on Vancouver websites, it told me 2 weeks it'll be available. And I couldn't believe it because that domain was held for 6 years. And the time that I searched it was available in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, every day for 3 hours, I sat there and refreshed it. I got it for $10.
Amazing, amazing. So what's does Vancouver Websites do? I know it's the name
Yeah.
above the door, but what's it really do?
Yeah, so we build really nice custom websites, which delivers a person's business here in Vancouver. Basically, it's all solopreneurs, small businesses, and we make their online presence look a lot better to help their business and acquire new clients.
Right. And do you take care of things like everyone talks about SEO? Do you deal with search engine optimization and
Yeah,
things?
so yeah, exactly. So I'll build a website that is SEO friendly. So right out of the gate, so you don't have to have someone who does SEO. You still will need a person who does SEO on a monthly basis afterwards if you want the site to be
Mhm.
improved. But part of SEO is that you need to have the site optimized and then you do extra SEO work on a monthly basis. So I deliver websites that are SEO friendly, all included.
Right. And is that's because of this wonderful word algorithm that everyone seems to talk about is a moving feast. It's something that you have to be on top of, but you
Yeah.
have a structure that is adaptable and malleable for the right expert in the right field.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Being a developer for 10 years now, I've seen websites and I've seen everything. And funny enough, there's trends and all this stuff. Whatever people say, there's a base foundation, like building a house, that Google always pays attention to. And so all of our sites are based on that main foundation. And so once you do monthly SEO afterwards, be it with us or somebody else, it helps that website get out of the gate a lot faster. So for instance, I just redid a website last week, and it was a Marina Side Realtor team. And as soon as it was done, they were before me. They were buried down in page 510, something like that. Within a few days, they're on page one for
Amazing.
Marina Side Realtors. Yeah, so that's an example of a optimized website. Yeah.
Cool. So I guess that's part of your experience being in it for 10 years. It's not like you've just walked out of college
Yeah.
being a whiz of algorithms, so to speak,
Yeah.
but you have some genuine experience in doing the difference that makes the difference. Is that right?
True.
Fair?
True.
Excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
and a lot of extra things we throw in there too that a lot of people don't actually know what they need online. I always call it kind of like taking your car into a mechanic. You know, you go in, you're like, oh, people told me I have this issue, but we go in and go, oh, you know what, you could use extra love without ripping a person off, and of course being upfront because that can happen too. But what we do is there's a lot of people don't know anything about the website online world. They have no idea. So we go in, I also give them options. Hey, we could do this, we could do that option. Here's what it would be, here's what it would cost, here's what would you like to do. And so from that, giving people options is a very comfortable thing because we don't go and just say, hey, we got this one package website. It's going to be $3,000 to $5,000 and it's going to be great. No, we don't do that at all. So there's a wide range of options so we can help a person throughout the stages of their business.
I understand. But that then leads to a really good question. Who is your target audience? Who's your ideal
Right.
customer? Who do you serve?
Right, right. So anyone who has a Wix website and they're tired of that Wix site, it doesn't look too good, or a Squarespace website, or anyone who's been in business for at least 2 years. So they say they had a part-time hustle and it became a full-time business, and then they go, oh, the business is great now, but I realize my website doesn't look that good compared to my competitors. So yeah, it would be anyone transitioning from a Wix site or a Squarespace site, or been in business for at least 2 years with a bad website.
Right. So, pardon my ignorance. Wix and Square Peg,
Space.
whatever you call it, Squarespace, Square Peg.
Right.
Tell me, these are what type of websites are they?
So they're do-it-yourself website builders, and there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them. Even GoDaddy has their own version. Google has their own, and they don't look that good, or they don't really work for your business. Now, if someone doesn't have the budget, I do say, hey, go ahead and build a Squarespace site, right? Because sometimes I'd rather see a person go online than not online. So it's really good for people with a very limited budget. It costs about like $50 a month, but there's big issues. They write it off as it's very easy to use, and it is. But the problem is all of a sudden it's like painting a picture and not being taught how to paint. All of a sudden there's all these extra variables and stuff you just don't know how to do, and then you go, screw it, and you go someone who knows what to do.
And that leads me to another question. You said 2 years. What's so special about someone being in business at least 2 years in your
Right.
experience?
Right. So what that is that 2 years is, I find the first 2 years, like someone will go on Squarespace or they'll use a Wix site to get them by, because usually it's a part-time hustle that eventually evolves into a full-time. So they may not have the efforts to put a custom website for their business just yet. Some people do, and they see the value of it right out of the gate, which is awesome, which is really, really good. But a lot of times people won't want to put, say, the budget into a custom website within that 0 to 2 year span. They'll do it on the 2 year plus that I find on average, because they've got the budget and they see the value in it. Because they start competing and they look at their competitors' websites and they suddenly go, oh, that's an extra lead source that I don't have to do any work over. So that's what I find happens
Okay.
at 2 years.
That then leads me to the secondary question, and I think it's becoming more relevant. As a coach, one of the things that I'm very alert to is that a business owner knows how to do business, but they kind of forget why they're in business. Everyone is told to get online. And I'm going to
Yep.
talk about COVID shortly. But of course, there's been a big rush for businesses to pivot and be online.
Right.
But being online is one step in a marketing process. What
Sure.
are the main reasons people should be online? Is it sales? Is it awareness? Is it authority? What do you find is the most effective reason? Because if you don't have the reason, you can't design the right website, I guess.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Exactly. And everyone needs to have an online presence. You're right. But not everybody can do it properly, which is true, because which we're seeing a lot of times is that people transitioning right now. The biggest thing you need to have a website is transparency. People really, really want to see that operation, the owner's face, the team's face, what that, say if you have an office space or a physical area, what that looks like, what your process is, who you are. They want to see case studies, they want to see testimonials, they want to see you, the owner, they want to see the operation. A lot of these sites that we do, they're high ticket, right? So
Yep.
you're not going to go and do a few $1,000 order or sales with somebody if you don't know who they are and you can't get a feel for it. I'm shopping for a transmission right now, and I'm finding just that phone call is my best way of gauging it. Plus, of course, other things. Now, imagine people shopping It's that first appearance. That website has to be transparent and show the people side to that business owner. And that's what we focus on. And on top of it, you need to have some sort of a sales automation. So once they go, okay, I like this person, we got to figure out a way to get that person to engage as fast as possible. So that's what we also do. And that's the most important thing to a website: transparency, trust, and then sales engagement.
And I guess that also fits very neatly in with the idea of these off-the-shelf, self-produced websites, Wix, Square,
Right. And
and
that's
so
what
forth. They
it,
don't have that authority, credibility that a proper website.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly. And they also don't know how to portray that in that either. And there's no guidance on this.
cool.
Exactly.
So I mentioned COVID-19. How has this impacted your business?
I actually got a lot busier, funny enough.
Oh, cool.
Funny enough, yeah. A lot of standard projects. So before COVID-19, such as, we're starting a business or we need a new website or there's a venture. One business is now going into a subcategory of a particular industry. All of those paused right off the bat. So I would say anything that was a venture that didn't produce sales, all paused. Um, and then what I got a lot of were people optimizing their current website. So a lot of the Squarespace people suddenly going, oh my God, my site doesn't look good and I don't know how to do it. And all of a sudden I need to rely on this thing way more than I thought I do. They came to me. I got a lot of that. And then I also got a ton of referrals.
Wow.
The referral chain just started lighting up. Yeah, because again, it's a lot of site maintenance and something called reskinning. So you reskin a website,
Hmm.
yeah, and then optimization as well.
Excellent. So, what one of the two actions have you taken during this period to deal with this increased demand and to probably shake that tree for referrals?
Right. So I've now been organizing the business. So putting in systems in place to turn it into a more organized vehicle, better communication with the customers and the clients, and also amongst my workers and contractors. So we can pump out sites a lot more efficiently and faster.
Without losing that personal bespoke touch, I guess.
Exactly. Without losing that personal touch.
Sure.
Exactly. Yep.
And are there anything else specifically you've been doing you'd like to share?
Besides working with you to help me in the process.
Yeah, I can cut. I won't cut that bit out. But
Which has helped me tremendously a lot. Basically, now I'm writing a plan, and marketing is going to be starting. Been, relying on more teammates on my team, relying on them more has been a big transition, and which has been great. It's been fantastic. So I basically take on the needs of the clients, assess them, create a plan, and have my workers develop it and strategize it.
look, on a personal level, I know what progress you've made, and I'm not here to promote myself or otherwise, but I do want to congratulate you because I've
Thank you.
seen the difference it's already made to your bottom line and to your, frankly, your energy levels. They seem more pumped than ever
It's
before.
true. Yeah, it's true. Thank you. Yeah.
Which is great, and it's not that common through this COVID situation. So
Yeah.
this leads to quite an interesting question, and I'm almost reading it out to you. It says, been said that smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, what mistakes have you made along the way that we can all learn from, your fellow entrepreneurs, your colleagues, anybody who's watching this? Because when you make the mistake, you got that opportunity to grow. So, what's been the biggest area for you?
Right. For me, it would be not initially not delegating as much, not putting systems in place to help me with more autonomous work. Yeah, I would say not delegating enough and not putting systems in place. With the increased workload, it's a great thing as a business owner. You're going, hey, great, good job. But then all of a sudden you have this new wave that hit you, will hit you, and then you wish you prepared for it. And that's what I am feeling. So that would be a mistake that I'm working with. And otherwise, besides getting here, I did learn from other mistakes of agencies that I worked for many years ago. I worked for corporations and web development agencies, and I learned from their mistakes to get to where I am to this day. Um, But one biggest thing was that not implementing and delegating, implementing systems or delegating,
Yeah,
which doing now, but that would be the biggest one.
sure. And so with the delegation, and again, I'm taking this from our other conversations, you've it's not just giving somebody the job to do,
True.
but it's about assigning responsibility of the deliverable.
Hmm.
And how have you shifted to be doing that more so and giving more autonomy to the team, but to deliver the right outcome for you?
Yeah, exactly. I basically tasked the projects and given them more incentives now to see the bigger picture, and use better task management software to deliver it, which they love. They
Brilliant.
like my direct guidance
Mm.
because they want to have basically task projects being handed to them. And then they love it that I say, hey, on top of it, here's the end goal. I've tasked it due to this end goal of the client. Tell me what you think on top of it. And they love to give their independent feedback on top of what the tasks that are given to
Oh, so they're not just monkey grinders. That's
them.
they really
No, yeah, no, exactly. I like to build people up. So I also tell them with the jobs, I'm going to train you. So they get training as well. And they love that training. They really, I think actually some people enjoy the training more than the actual, they're happy that they get, paid for what it is, but they're really spirited in what I teach them.
that's fantastic.
They're blown away actually. They're like, I've been doing it the wrong way.
And again, from what you've telling me, that is such a different way of looking after a team
Yeah.
than it would have been in the agencies which you worked in the past.
Yeah, because there's no training. That culture doesn't exist. Raising people up.
Mm,
I've always raised up contractors, and I feel great. That makes me feel good, actually.
mm.
And a lot of people say, "What happens when they get so good they don't need you anymore? They go independent." And I go, "Well, I like them to sail away because I'm not going to be controlling. I'm not going to control them. They can
Yeah,
either stay or they can go on their own. That's just yeah."
that's awesome. That's fantastic. And I know that's synonymous with actually who you are as a person. So that's
Yeah.
brilliant. So, last couple of questions before I
Hmm.
let you crack on and make other people's businesses successful with their websites. How do people get in touch with you?
Sure. They can just go to my website, vancouverwebsites.ca. There's an email and phone number there. Or they can email info@vancouverwebsites.ca.
Brilliant,
And
brilliant.
yeah,
I'll put that at the end of this short video
sure,
so people can see that.
sure.
But last but not least, what's been inspiring you today?
Oh, inspiring me today. Yeah, that's been actually quite a lot of things inspiring me today. You're inspiring me. The mastermind's inspiring me. I'm moving to a new property that I can have a garden space, so I can put time on that.
Mhm.
That's inspiring me. What's really inspiring me is the system that I'm building. It rehashed a new flow of creativity, which will change the way websites are built. And I'm super happy and proud of that. And that's been rekindling my creativity because I build systems for other people, but it's a really neat feeling to build it for myself now.
Yeah. And it's not just you, as you know, you're building that
Exactly.
for you so that you can create your legacy.
Exactly. And then I can help more of my workers, you name it. There's going to be like a web building university portion to it added
Oh,
towards it. Yeah.
Van you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, I'd like to thank you for your time, Kevin. I know
Thanks, Phil.
how
Appreciate it.
you're a gentleman. You've shared an awful lot of wisdom, and also helped differentiate what sets you apart from all those other places.
Oh,
I've
thank you.
learned a lot chatting to you today. I really value your time, and I value your friendship too. So thank
Yeah,
you, Kevin.
me too.